Germany is a country located in the heart of Western Europe, bordering 9 other European nations, as well as the North and Baltic Seas. Germany has the largest economy in Europe and the second most populous nation in the continent, with its capital and largest city being Berlin. Not surprisingly, the country is a key member to Europe's political, economic, and defense organizations. The country is in the top 5 largest global economies, and it's known for its production of automobiles, electronic and communication equipment, engineering products, chemicals and pharmaceuticals, and much more. Germany is a country and area with a vast historical presence. Various Germanic tribes have inhabited areas of modern Germany since classical antiquity. German territories were also part of the Holy Roman Empire. The region was the center of the Protestant Reformation, and the country played a large role in both world wars. Today, Germany is a country with a mixed history, a strong economy, and definitely some beautiful sights. Besides the wonderful mountains, forests, rivers, and many more natural wonders, the country has some lovely architecture. The architecture of Germany has a long, diverse, and rich history, with pretty much every major European style, from Roman to postmodern, being represented. This includes renowned examples of Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance, and Classical, and many more architecture styles. Today we will look at 10 of the coolest buildings and works of architecture in Germany. Number 10. Neuschwanstein Castle. The Neuschwanstein Castle is a 19th century Romanesque revival-style palace on a rugged hill in southwest Bavaria. The palace was commissioned by King Ludwig II of Bavaria as a retreat and in honor of Richard Wagner, a German composer. The construction of the castle began in 1869, and the building was originally intended as a private residence for the king. However, shortly after King Ludwig II's death in 1886, the castle was opened to the public. The castle's design embodies both King Ludwig's enthusiasm for the operas of Richard Wagner and the contemporaneous architectural fashion known as castle romanticism. The palace can be regarded as typical for 19th century architecture, with the shapes of Romanesque, Gothic, and Byzantine architecture and art mingled in an eclectic fashion and supplemented with 19th century technical achievements. Since its opening to the public, more than 61 million people have visited Neuschwanstein Castle, with about 1.3 million visiting annually today. Number 9. The Elbphilharmonie. The Elbphilharmonie, often called by its nickname Elfie, is a concert hall in the Hafen city quarter of Hamburg. The new glassy hall, one of the largest in the world, resembles a hoisted sail, water wave, iceberg, or quartz crystal resting on top of an old brick warehouse. The building, which opened at its current concert hall recently in 2017, is designed as a cultural and residential complex. Interestingly, the brick facade at the base of the building was originally a warehouse built in 1966, but designers were able to incorporate it into the building's current design. The building cost approximately 866 million euros and was opened on January 11, 2017, with a performance by the Elbphilharmonie Orchestra. The highly detailed, one-of-a-kind building still regularly hosts performances today. Number 8. The Charlottenburg Palace. The Charlottenburg Palace is a Baroque palace located in Berlin. The palace was constructed at the end of the 17th century before being greatly expanded upon in the following century. The palace includes many lavish internal decorations in Rococo and Baroque styles. A large formal garden surrounded by woodland was eventually added behind the palace. This area includes a mausoleum, theater, and pavilion. The grounds also contain burials of several noteworthy people, including Prince Albert of Prussia and German Emperor Wilhelm I. Throughout its history, different cohorts of the royal family resided in the palace, most of which expanded the estate for their liking. Today, the palace, with its gardens, is a major tourist attraction. Visitors are able to see parts of the interior of the palace for an admission charge, as well as the stunning gardens for free. The Charlottenburg Palace stands as a superb example of life for the royal family between the Baroque period and the 20th century, and is still definitely worth checking out today. Number 7. The Cathedral of Our Dear Lady. The Cathedral of Our Dear Lady, or Frauenkirche in German, is a church in Munich, Bavaria that serves as the cathedral of the Archdiocese of Munich. It is a landmark for the city and is considered a symbol of the Bavarian capital. Interestingly, because of local height limits, the church's towers are widely visible and offer spectacular views of the city from visitors who are willing to climb the stairs in the South Tower. The historic Cathedral of Our Dear Lady was constructed from red brick in the late Gothic style within only 20 years, and amazingly was completed in the year 1524. The building is designed very plainly and without much rich Gothic ornamentation. This, partnered with the two-tower special design, makes the construction look even more massive, while giving the building a near modern appearance. The Cathedral of Our Dear Lady still regularly holds Catholic Mass and still serves as a parish church today. Number 6. Bremen City Hall. The Bremen City Hall is the seat of the President of the Senate and Mayor of the Free Hanseatic city of Bremen. It is considered one of the most important examples of Brick Gothic and Weser Renaissance architecture in Europe, and has been a protected historical building since 1973. The Bremen City Hall and the city of Bremen as a whole has an extensive history. The original Old Town Hall was constructed in the 15th century and was a rectangular two-story hall with the ground floor used for merchants and theater, and the second floor used as a festivity hall. This Old Town Hall went through several renovations throughout its history, and amazingly is still standing today. The new Bremen Town Hall was constructed at the beginning of the 20th century, and is adjacent to the Old Town Hall as seen here. Both buildings are still used today for different events such as banquets, exhibitions, and for government purposes. The Bremen Town Hall was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2004, because of its outstanding architecture and testimony to the development of civic autonomy. Number 5. Hohenzollern Castle. The Hohenzollern Castle is the ancestral seat of the Imperial House of Hohenzollern. The castle is the third of 3 hilltop castles built on this site, a mountain in Württemberg. This area certainly has some history. The first castle on the mountain was built in the 11th century. The third and current castle was built between 1846 and 1867 as a family memorial by Hohenzollern's scion, King Frederick William IV of Prussia. Architect Friedrich August Stuhler based its design on English Gothic Revival architecture in the Chateau of the Loire Valley. The castle is a structure composed of 4 primary parts: military architect, the palatial buildings, chapels, and the gardens. There are several historical artifacts stored within the castle, including the crown of William II, personal effects of King Frederick the Great, and a letter from George Washington. Today, the Hohenzollern Castle welcomes over 350,000 visitors each year and is one of the most visited castles in Germany. Number 4. The Reichstag Building. The Reichstag Building is a historic government building in Berlin, which houses the Bundestag, the lower house of Germany's parliament, which is comparable to the United States House of Representatives. The building, with a mixture of architecture styles, was constructed to house the Imperial Diet of the German Empire, and was opened in 1884, housing the Diet until 1933 when the building was set on fire. The building suffered extensive damage during World War II, and fell into disuse after the war. Partial refurbishments were made in the 1960s, but it wasn't until the 1990s, after German reunification, that the building underwent reconstruction. These renovations, including the addition of the glass dome, were complete in 1999, and the building has become the meeting place of German Parliament ever since. Number 3. The New Town Hall. The New Town Hall is the town hall in the northern part of Marienplatz in Munich. The building hosts the city government, including the city council, offices of the mayor, and a small portion of the administration. This new town hall was constructed after it was determined that the old town hall had a lack of space. Construction on the current town hall began in 1867, with the building not opening until over 40 years later in 1909. The new town hall has a neo-Gothic design, which allowed for an implementation of an independent architectural accent in contrast to the buildings of the royal family. The brick and limestone building is highly detailed, with its main facades, halls, staircases, glass windows, and more having a lot of character. As previously mentioned, the building is still the current home of the mayor, city council, and a small part of the city's administration. But there are even some areas open to the public, including the council's legal library, which is definitely worth checking out. Number 2. BMW Welt. The BMW Welt is a combined exhibition, delivery, adventure museum, and event venue located next to Olympic Park in Munich. The BMW Welt is a fairly new building, with construction taking place from August 2003 to the summer of 2007, with the opening taking place on October 17, 2007. The BMW Welt operations are coordinated with other local BMW facilities, including the BMW Museum and headquarters. The BMW Welt has a showroom with current car and motorcycle models being displayed. The building also has a few shops selling BMW merchandise, a restaurant, and an enormous glass walled hall, giving customers picking up special ordered cars a quote, staged experience. The BMW Welt is certainly a unique building. At its opening ceremony, Wolf D. Prix, one of the building's architects, said, quote, "The building does not have the boredom of an exhibition hall. It is not only a temple, but also a marketplace, communication center, and a meeting point for knowledge transfer. The BMW Welt is the most visited tourist attraction in Bavaria." Number 1. The Berlin Cathedral. The Berlin Cathedral, also known as the Evangelical Supreme Parish and Collegiate Church, is a monumental German evangelical church and dynastic tomb on the Museum Island in central Berlin. Having its origins as a castle chapel for the Berlin Palace, several structures have served to house the church since the 1400s. The present building was constructed from 1894 to 1905 in Renaissance, Neoclassical, and Baroque Revival styles, by the order of Emperor Wilhelm II according to plans by architect Julius Raschdorf. Like many other historic buildings in Germany, the Berlin Cathedral was significantly damaged during World War II, but was restored over the future decades. The Berlin Cathedral is one of the most important dynastic tombs in Europe and is the largest Protestant church in Germany. The cathedral is also used for state ceremonies, concerts, and other events in addition to its church services. The richly decorated church is a major attraction in Berlin and in the whole of Germany, and is certainly a wonderful work of architecture. Thank you for joining us at a look at 10 of the coolest buildings and works of architecture in Germany. We hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.